If we use our knife straight across our texture, the edge of the paint has picked up the weave of the canvas, but there are times when we actually want the edge of our dry brushing to disappear into the surface instead of just stop. That's when we need to use our middle medium. Here in this work here, we can see that all of the dry brushing across the texture has been heightened through the area that brings us up into this beautiful curve, and then it's been allowed to disappear at the edges of the dry brushing into the background color. For that, you need to actually use your middle medium to wet the paint up a little. I'm just going to demonstrate with this level of raised texture here, which is ultramarine blue mixed in with binder medium to create just a higher level of texture there. I'm just going to get some cobalt turquoise light, mix in my middle medium so that it's a little more runny than dry straight out of the tube. Mix that in so it's quite uniform. It can't be as runny as, say, like Free Flow. It still has to have the ability to only catch the top of the surface. We run that across the top. We dry brush across the top of those areas of texture, and then when we need it to disappear into the background, I like to use my finger, which I probably shouldn't, but you can't do that. The paint is not, see how it just disappears? To try that with paint straight out of the tube, you wouldn't be able to get that very smooth transition on the edges. It's the medium that makes the paint become transparent enough to disappear into the background color. The dry brushing technique with the sponge can be used if you have an area in your painting that you want to retrieve the white, or you want to smoky it off a bit. It wouldn't make any sense just to grab some white and plaster it down, because if you keep working with your painting, whatever you add to it needs to belong. So this misting with the sponge, it picks up the top of the weave of the canvas, so it actually makes that addition of paint looks like it belongs to the rest of the painting. If you want to completely take over a whole area, you just gradually build it up and up and up by dry brushing the weave of the canvas until it's as solid as you need to then go back over it when it's dry and replace the color or rework an area of that canvas. And that wouldn't work with a brush, and it wouldn't work with a palette knife, of course. It's the sole property of the characteristic of that sponge.